Do you want to know why this Stranger peg will help you grind a lot longer? Today we're going to do and explain a review on the Nate Richter signature Stranger Zia peg. As always, we want you to comment on this video, like, subscribe, and turn on your notification bells to enter our contest on YouTube. All you got to do is do those few things, and we'll tell you a little bit more rules later on in this video. If you don't know who Nate Richter is, he's a New Mexico native, street riding guru, and vlogging, enthusiast. So he's been in BMX for a long time, and he's been actually killing it lately. And he linked up with Stranger, and they gave him the signature peg. So let's talk a little bit about this peg. So I know you guys look at pegs and you go, hey, you know what, they all look the same. Why am I spending more money on this one rather than this one? And there's a lot of different features that create one to be a different price and why you should buy this one and buy it instead of buying that one. This one is kind of cool because it actually has more things than just a single peg. So let's talk about it. First of all, these are the three things that you get. These are the three things you get initially, but also too, you get a few other things. So it comes with this Stranger sticker as well, and then it also comes with this adapter. So I'll explain the adapter in a little bit. So it comes with the two peg sleeves and then the actual inner core. I know a lot of the photos look a little bit weird, and being a beginner and stuff like that, it's really hard to understand what you're actually getting, and not buying it, not having a bike shop near you that has these pegs in stock, it's kind of hard to explain. A lot of our customers come into our store and they see these packaged like this with two pegs, and they think it's two pegs, but it's actually not. It actually comes with one peg, full complete peg, and then it comes with an extra sleeve. So this is one of the reasons why it helps you grind a lot longer, is because a lot of the other brands, they only give you a peg and the actual sleeve. They don't give you an actual extra sleeve, and the extra sleeves are usually pretty hard to get from a bike shop. You usually have to mail order them, and it kind of doesn't really make sense to buy a peg sleeve for $6 or $7 and then pay another $5 shipping when you just need one replacement peg. So coming with an extra sleeve actually helps you grind a lot longer and helps you ride these pegs a lot longer. So that's one of the features. So that's pretty cool. So yeah, let's kind of break down these pegs. So like I said, it comes with the inner core and then the actual sleeve, but let's talk about the little inner core a little bit more and how these actual pegs work. So a lot of you kids have bicycles out there and you want to grind like the pros, just like Nate Richter and stuff like that, and you're wondering, hey, does those pegs go on my bike and do they fit and blah blah blah, and I'll help explain that a little bit. A lot of us are used to those old school pegs where they thread on. Maybe our dads know about pegs or something like that, and the pegs back in the day used to thread onto the axle and actually bolt your wheel to the actual bicycle. So pegs have kind of changed a little bit. Big reason is because those actual axles are threaded and they spin in a clockwise direction to actually tighten them on. So if you ride right side pegs, it'll actually while grinding, you'll actually create friction and cause this peg to stick to it and cause the peg to roll. So if you're on the right side and you're grinding and it's rolling like this, it's actually gonna thread this peg onto your wheel super tight. And now on the opposite side, the reason why that was bad is because it'd make it way too tight and it's hard to get it off. But on the opposite side, on the left side, when you grind something, it's actually gonna make the peg spin and actually thread your actual peg off your bicycle. Next thing you know, your wheel's falling off, you're bending the axle, your peg shaking and stuff like that, and just damaging your bicycle. So that idea was kind of cool, but the actual execution of it didn't really go so well. So what a lot of brands have been doing is actually doing a different style, and it's kind of gone through the different revolutions of going from a bolt-on peg, which this is, to kind of creating something to make it a little bit easier. So before you used to have to buy a peg that was specific for a small axle, which is 3/8 or 12 millimeter, or you had one for a large hole, which was 14 millimeter, or or a 17 millimeter bolt or 3/4 bolt, 19 bolt that fit the larger axles. Back in the day, we had some pegs and they were made out of really hard material. 4140 chromoly, heat treated, and I think they kind of revolutionized the pegs. So shout out to King Pegs for creating those pegs back in the day. I think that was super dope. I rode those, and literally those pegs killed it. But that kind of revolutionized it, and the problem is that you would have a 3/8 peg, or you would buy some pegs and it only came in 3/8, and then sooner or later you end up getting a 14 millimeter axle, and those pegs were hard to get. So what we would end up doing is getting a drill and trying to drill them out. And by drilling them out, we end up messing up a lot of our dad's drill bits and stuff like that. Got kicked out of the garage because we messed up expensive wood drill bits and stuff like that, trying to drill out this hard chromoly. And what would happen is that you end up trying to you would actually try to drill it out and to make it fit. So now most pegs come in a 14 millimeter size, just like this. And what they did was they gave you this little adapter right here so that you can actually fit a smaller axle on it. So this large hole is for 14 millimeter. Then you got a 3/8 adapter that fits on the 3/8 or 12 millimeter axle. So this peg works for either size. Most bicycles come in a 3/8 or a 14. There's some that are in between. I think they're like 13 millimeters. I think some free agent bikes used to come with the coarse threaded one, but those will also fit on here. These will fit pretty much any bicycle. The only bicycles they won't fit are a lot of the department store bicycles that have a really short axle. And now by short, I'm talking about an axle that barely pops out of the axle net. So, well, excuse me. So without pegs, this axle net will bolt onto your forks or your frame. And now you got to look at the axle length that sticks out. If it's right up to the edge of this axle net right here, that wheel will not fit, or this peg will not fit on that wheel. Sorry, I got mixed up. I'm trying to think of this all off the top of my head, but it won't fit because what happens is that this peg, if you look inside of here, this peg is pretty thick. It's about 10 millimeters thick, maybe 12, maybe even more. It's pretty thick. Yeah, it's pretty thick. I think it might even be 15 millimeters. But it's 15 millimeters thick, so by the time you bolt this peg on, you can't really see inside there, and I know most of you guys aren't going to get a flashlight and shine in there to see how much axle is sticking out, but if it's barely popping up here, the peg thickness is about the thickness of this actual net. So what happens is that you thread it on and it only grabs a couple of the threads. First grind you do, it just strips your peg out, or you strips your axle out. So if you want pegs and you want to see if they fit on your bike, all you got to do is look at the end of the axle, past the axle net, and then see how far it sticks out. So if it sticks out quite a bit, I would say a ½ inch or something like that, you should be all right, because once you bolt this on, you'll be able to put the net. So think of it as maybe being able to put 2 of these axle nets on your actual axle. If you can do that, then these pegs will fit with your bicycle. A lot of the newer bicycles now, they have a female axle and they bolt inward. So a lot of the department store bikes, they might not have enough axle. A lot of the aftermarket bikes, the IBD bikes that were produced within like the last 8 years, all of them have really long axles, so you should be able to bolt the peg no problem. A lot of those bicycles also have a female axle which bolt in this way. If you have a female bolt that bolts into the actual hub, these pegs will definitely fit because those actual bolts are very long. So if you're wondering if these pegs fit your bike, then there you go. That's how you know. So this core is actually designed to be the majority of the material and actually what bolts onto the actual frame or the forks. And this actual sleeve actually slides over just like slow. It goes all the way in, and then it has this little lip right here for this this actual sleeve to go right over. So it fits nice and snug. If you see that, see how snug it fits. But the cool thing is that this actual material is slightly thicker than this, and it actually sticks up a hair, I would say about so. So when you actually bolt this down, it'll actually press this plastic onto there and smash it on, and it won't allow your peg sleeve to spin. I've seen a lot of other brands, they make pegs just like these, but their peg sleeves end up bending. I've seen some with some weird like key wedges on the edge, but what that does is it ends up cracking the peg and just damaging it really, really fast. So I think coming up with a simple design like so has been super, super awesome and made it super, super rad, and it works just really, really well. So if you're looking for a peg that's not gonna spin or anything like that, that's pretty cool. So that's kind of how the inner core works, and these are called inner cores for your pegs. But these are actually extruded on the inside. If you look in there, it's extruded 6061 aluminum, and then the outer is actually machined down. You can see the little bumps on here are like a record player. You can feel where the lathe machined it down, and then it has rounded off edges here. It has a lip like so, and then it's got a good amount of material on the actual end of here so that your peg will sit solid, and it's super, super thick, so when you run an axle nut, you can really crank it down and it's not gonna jack it up. Also too, if you notice, the peg cord thickness is pretty thick, so if you grind through your sleeves or you land on a grind really hard, this peg's not gonna dent up, and it's gonna still allow your wrench or your socket to get on there. Also too, I forgot to tell you guys want to know how it actually bolts up. Usually you're going to take a ratchet extension. This isn't, I know you guys don't really use this on BMX bikes, but once you start grinding and stuff like that, you're going to end up needing to do this. So what you'll do is you'll actually put the nut on the end of the socket. This isn't the right size, but just an example. And then you'll have an extension, and then you'll use a ratchet, and you'll actually insert this into the peg like so, slide it onto your axle, and then thread it in. Same thing with the bolt. You can do the same thing with the bolt, stick it through, and then this is what actually tightens it on. So you'll actually tighten it on your actual wheel, tighten it on, and that's what secures the actual peg to it. So that's how you install these pegs. There's no threads on here like I was saying. If you're gonna do it with the 3/8 axle, make sure you put that washer on, and that'll get it all set up. But yeah, that's how you install this peg with the core. So you slide this actual sleeve on. So let's talk a little bit about the sleeve. The sleeve is a nylon sleeve made out of plastic, and it slides really, really well. Majority of our team riders, I want to say almost all of them do. There may be an exception between like one or two that don't ride this peg or something similar to this brand. But these peg sleeves slide really, really fast. They last a long time, and it's cool because it's got a kind of like a gloss, but like a textured finish to it, so it looks really sweet rather than looking like a smooth tube and just looking like a, I would say like something cheap, just like a PVC pipe or a water pipe or something like that. So just putting that little texture on it makes it look really, really cool. It also has the Stranger logo screen printed on there, and then it also has the Zia logo screen printed on this side. So, and these are in purple, so it makes it pretty cool. There's some other Stranger pegs, they have red, so it makes you identify these pegs really, really quickly. Another thing is that these pegs come in a different size. A lot of the other pegs, they started off at 4 inches, they went up to 4.25, 4.25, and then they went up to 4.5, and then these pegs now are actually 4.75, so 4 inches and 3/4, 4 and 3/4 inches. long, so that's another benefit that'll help you grind a little bit longer. So if you're doing like feebles and stuff like that, you'll be able to grind a little bit longer because now you got another 1/4 inch to help you hang on to the actual ledge. So a lot of people are going with a lot larger peg. I would say not diameter wise, but length wise, because it just helps you get on it and it helps secure, and doing certain grinds, it helps you stay on it a little bit longer. Now, as you grind through these peg sleeves, you're gonna want to rotate these. Make sure you rotate your peg sleeves often, and just rotate the peg so that it wears down evenly rather than just wearing a big hole into one side, because what's gonna happen is it just wears one hole, then the whole peg falls apart and you completely wasted the rest of the peg. So rotate these things frequently. It doesn't matter that you have the logo on there. They look cool, but the main thing is you want to stay grinding. Stay on your grind, guys. Like, don't stop, just keep grinding. You know what I mean? That's the best thing to do. Yeah, that's pretty much it for the Stranger Zia pegs. You know what I mean? Nate Richter's signature Zia peg. These things are pretty dope. I would definitely suggest you getting them. Like I said, it comes with the inner core that fits either 14 millimeter or if it's 3/8. It comes with 2 extra sleeves, so make sure you buy a pair of pegs, or maybe one if you want to carry around a homie and he just wants to stand there like a flamingo or something. But if you want to grind on one side, you know, throw the pegs on one side. If you want to know what side you should grind on, whatever way you spin, I would say put them on the outside of your rotation and put your pegs on that side. Normal common rules is right foot forward, you're going to want to put them on the right side. Left foot forward, you're going to put them on the left side. But everybody's different. You get goofy footed riders, goofy grinders. I'm on that same way. I ride right foot forward, but I like having my pegs on the left. That's just because I bent my sprocket, just different stuff like that. But just do whatever's comfortable for you, and just go out there, ride, grind, have a good time, and don't worry about what other people say, because it may be wrong now, but you may be able to do some different tricks or better tricks later on in the future, and they might even get jealous of that. So you know, I mean, it's just fun, all in fun and games. Everybody's different. This one thing's gonna be harder than the other, so that's just the way life is. So guys, just go out there and have fun. To help you guys do that, we told you we're gonna tell you how to enter these contests to win some free stuff. So at 2,500 subscribers, we're halfway there. You guys have been killing it. Thanks for subscribing to our channel. When we get to 2,500 subscribers, all we're gonna do is we're gonna pick a winner from these comments from people that like this video, turn on the notification bells, share this video, and they comment below. So the first 50 people that comment below will be entered into that contest, and that's all you gotta do. And then at 5,000 subscribers, we're gonna give away a free bicycle retailed at $300, and we're gonna ship it to you guys free of charge. But what's in that parts package, which is in the short feature, is we're gonna give you a pair of tires, a pair of pedals, a pair of grips, and a seat from us. So just comment below, enter our contest, help support us, share this video, do whatever you can to help us, you know, keep making these videos, because we think they're fun. We're trying to teach you guys about all the new products. The more you guys get interactive with us, the more it hypes us up, the more it helps us create these videos. But yeah. Thanks a lot. If you want to see another video from our YouTube channel that best fits you, hit that link right there. If you want to see some more explained review about other products, hit that link there. If you want to buy these pegs, hit that link there. If you want to subscribe to our channel, enter the contest, hit that one right there. Thanks a lot for watching. We'll see you guys tomorrow.